honest. I'm done already. You, because I'm your elder, you respect what I said. We're done. Bastard.
Thus, for what seemed like forever, Michael had been experiencing tension in his relationship with Angela. Angela's mood swings kept him on his toes, and he never knew what little thing would set her off next. Every day felt like tiptoeing around a minefield, and he couldn't avoid the feeling that nothing he did was ever good enough, whether it was missing a call, a text gone wrong, or something very minor. Angela always found a way to blow it up into a huge fight. After months of this, Michael was totally drained. The constant accusations and emotional gains had worn him out. He kept hoping things would get better, that Angela would chill out eventually, but the longer he stuck around, the worse it got. The fights became more frequent, and the emotional stress was just too much. No matter how hard he tried to calm things down, Angela's anger just kept escalating, aiding in those quiet moments after the chaos. When the yelling finally stopped, Michael would think about what to do next. He had already invested so much into this relationship, but the emotional cost was becoming unbearable. So, after months of putting up with this exhausting situation, he found himself sitting in his lawyer's office. His hands were clenched, and he felt the weight of everything he had been through. It wasn't an easy choice, but he knew he had to do something. He was done being quiet, done trying to fix things when it was clear Angela wasn't going to change.
And you are the problem.
Will you calm down?
What's going on? Listen, don't hate me. Don't get in my... Do not get in my...
The night everything changed for Michael started like any other. He came home after a long day hoping for some peace, but as soon as he walked in, he could feel the tension. Angela was in one of her moods again, clearly upset about something she saw online. It wasn't unusual for her to get worked up over social media drama, but this time she seemed really on edge. As he sat across from his lawyer, it hit him that he was going to take Angela to court. Enough was enough. Angela needed to face the consequences of her actions, and Michael was finally ready to stand up for himself. Angela accused Michael of cheating as soon as he stepped in. There was no evidence, but it didn't matter because Michael had learned to be cautious in these circumstances. He attempted to remain composed and talk it out, but nothing was working. Michael tried to calm her down like he had so many times before, but Angela wasn't having it. Her comments struck deep as she made irrational claims about where and who he had been with. Her accusations became more forceful, and suddenly, she hurled a cup of hot tea at him, the scalding liquid hitting his chest and scorching his skin. Michael froze, but before he could even process what had happened, Angela spat in his face and said something that was dripping with contempt. For Michael, the emotional betrayal hurt more than the physical burn. He had supported Angela through many arguments as they tried to work their relationship through, but this was the final straw. While waiting for the doctor the next day, Michael couldn't help but feel that this was his breaking point and that he couldn't continue living this way. The physical scar would heal, but the emotional ones had been piling up for too long. At that moment, his mother's words echoed in his mind. She had always been the voice of reason, and even though she had previously advised him to be patient, now she was saying something different. You need to leave her. The sting of the hot tea was nothing compared to the realization that the person he once loved could treat him so cruelly. Michael eventually realized that she was correct and that his hospital stay was a turning point in his life. Although the burns on his chest served as a physical reminder of what he had been through, the emotional weight of it all was even more heavy. Michael knew that it was time to take responsibility for his actions and defend himself, which is why he chose to take Angela to court.
You tell my daughters all women are stupid.
So what you expect me to?
Bitch.
You don't know. So
You
what
better,
is
let me
this?
tell you something. You better get your ass and get your...
It's said
You
my
ass to get
opinion.
duck up. Duck up.
Thus, as they discussed the specifics, Michael realized it was time to act. The claim, which concerned years of emotional abuse rather than simply the most recent episode, was broken down piece by Michael's attorney. Public humiliation and the fact that every time Angela called him out for infidelity, every time she made fun of him on television, it was all factored into the case. Not only was Michael suing over a single night, but he was also finally defending himself after years of silence. Although he knew this was the right thing to do, there was a part of him that hesitated because their relationship had been scrutinized by the media for a very long time, with every argument, makeup change, and dramatic moment being publicly displayed. Filing this lawsuit would have required Michael to air their dirty laundry once more, but deep down he knew he had no other option. His hesitancy was insignificant in comparison to his instinct to safeguard himself. The psychological wounds were profound, and it was time to reveal the truth to the public. Everything was covered by the lawsuit. The emotional mistreatment of Angela, her deceptive methods. His lawyer informed him that they had a good case despite her repeated threats and the recent episode in which she spat in his face and flung boiling tea at him. It was a difficult but long overdue step, as Michael had medical documents to support the physical attack and witnesses to attest to Angela's insane behavior. The lawsuit caused Angela to react exactly as we had anticipated. She was furious and, rather than going through her lawyer, took to social media, posting a number of videos and statements in which she called Michael a liar and claimed he was fabricating everything. She also painted herself as the victim, accusing him of attempting to ruin her reputation. Her online rants gained traction, but this time, things felt different as the lawsuit's details became known and people began to doubt her version of events. The problem was no longer merely a he said, she said, as Michael's legal team had presented all the facts in plain sight. In fact, as the evidence against Angela grew, people began to see right through her.
Hi, Michael. I have a heart. I'm a mean bitch. I'll fight in a goddamn minute. I'll you. You have no heart, man.
When Michael walked into the courtroom, he felt a huge weight lift off his shoulders. This was the moment he would finally share his story away from the media frenzy and Angela's constant accusations. He was nervous, but he knew that speaking up was the only way to move forward. As he took the stand, he opened up about everything he had been through, the emotional toll of years of manipulation, the public humiliation, and the physical abuse he had suffered. His testimony was calm, measured, and emotional. As Michael shared his side, Angela attempted to interrupt the hearing with her remark, but that only made her look worse in the eyes of the court. The judge listened to Michael's statements and, although the case wasn't over yet, it was obvious that Michael had made his point. The judge took a moment before dropping the verdict. Angela sat there trying to defend herself, but her usual loud, explosive style didn't cut it this time. Michael had medical records showing the burns from the hot tea and witnesses who could back up his claims about Angela's behavior. This wasn't just your average marital argument. Michael had suffered years of severe emotional and physical abuse.
Badly by her. Whenever she's upset, she can do whatever she wants. And the law, I don't want any issue. I don't want any bad record of my name. So I tend to, keep it cool. But to be honest, I was scared. Sometimes when she's very upset, she made me feel scared.
The judge found in Michael's favor, acknowledging all of his suffering and providing him with the legal relief he had been waiting for. Once this information was released, fans took to the internet to voice their opinions. Some wrote, "Way to go, Michael," while others said, "She's getting what she deserves." With that said, it's time to wrap up this video. What do you guys think? Did Michael make the right decision by taking Angela to court? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure you're subscribed to get all the latest updates.